Hi everyone, welcome to our LaTeX lesson 2. So today I want to talk about how you could tech up your homework. So here's homework 1. I grabbed it out of D2L. So notice you don't have to do it in LaTeX, you can do it other ways, but I love doing my homework in LaTeX, so I thought I'd show you how I do it. Okay, so I'm over here in LaTeX and I made my own sheet for this. So here's my title. Let's get rid of the title for right now. Okay, so you might be wondering, how do you get this nice little header up here? That's of course not necessary, but it is kind of fun. To start, I want to talk about, so last time we did talk about document class, and typically you'll be using article, at least for our class. But if you add in front of that these brackets and then what size you want the font to be, you can change that around. So that's kind of fun. So in order to change the margins of where you're typing on, so just like the top and the bottom, how much space there is there, you can write this out. So you use package and you talk about how much margin you want in the top, bottom, left, right, and then you just need to do this little bracket geometry. So notice if I comment this out, this is going to move. See? So if you want it to be more against the edge, or you just want to change the margins, this is one way you can do it. Okay, so now to get the header and footer info, you can do this. So first you want to use package fancy HDR, and you could put that with your other packages, it doesn't really matter. And then we want to say that the page style we want is fancy. And then fancy head left, so the L is for left. And so you just talk about what you want to be in the left-hand side. So here, notice we start with \large. So that's just to make the text large. If we capitalize the L, we can get it even bigger. If we use different words, we can get different things. But yeah, and so once again, that's something that you can look up, and it should be fairly easy to find. People will talk about it. I believe Overleaf even has specific articles about things like this. And so then if we wanted to put something in the center, we could do that here. And then in the right, maybe what I would do is I would type in my name. So I would say, whoops, Danica Van Neel. So then on the lower left-hand part of the footer, it's going to be MSU. Center is going to say the page, and then the right-hand side would say the due date, but I haven't told it what the due date is, so I'm just going to get rid of that part. So there's my name. If we go down to the bottom, there's the one, MSU. You can get rid of that as well if you would like. See, the due went away. Okay, and then the rest is just the stuff that I had talked about before. So you notice that I have teched up things to make a title. So why don't I do that? Make title. All right. But then on my title page, I'm not going to have a header and a footer. So if I do new page, so that just means I skip a page before whatever I teched up next. And I have to have something teched up or else it won't do a new page. So now you see on the very next page after the title page, there is the header and the footer. Okay, excellent. So now let's actually talk about what we're typing up. So question 1, suppose A is that, B is that, fine, blah, blah, blah. Okay, interesting. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say begin. So begin tells it that I'm about to do something, right? So we have a lot of different things that we could begin. We can center stuff. We can enumerate. So enumerate just is a fancy word for I'm going to start numbering items. Okay, so now for each item, it's going to assign that a number. So for one, suppose A, so I'll type this up off screen, or maybe it's helpful if I do type it on screen, I'm not sure. So something real quick, these brackets here, they're invisible to teching because as you notice, we use them all the time. So if you want to actually show the bracket, you need to do backslash or our command and then tell it that you're going to do that. Okay? Let's see. So 0, 1. Whoops. And then the set containing, I thought it was 2 and 3. Am I right about that? Yes, I am. B is 0, 2, and X. And so remember, these dollar signs just mean that we're in math mode. So if I hit recompile here, see how it's numbered this item? And so the A is kind of on a slant, and so is the B, and then the numbers come out kind of nice. So if I put a normal capital A next to it that's not in math mode, it's going to look different. See how it's more upright? So this is as if I'm talking, right, or text. But this slanted A indicates to the reader, hey, I'm talking about math now. I'm not talking about the letter A, I'm talking about some mathematical A, whether it's an element, a set, something else, but I'm not just saying the word A. Okay, so now I want to enumerate again, right? Because there's multiple parts to this problem. So if I do the same thing, so I'm already inside begin enumerate, end enumerate. So remember, well, sorry, it's not remembering because I haven't taught you yet. Whenever you begin something, you also want to end it. Similarly with the document, when we began the document, we also needed to say where the document ended. Okay, so it's kind of the same thing here. So if I get rid of this, it's going to be really mad at me. It's like, whoa, 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 you started something and you didn't stop it. Okay, so now for this one, for this exact problem, I actually want to enumerate something within it. And so you may say, but wait, is that going to be confusing with 1 and then 1 again? Well, actually, the program is set up for things like this, where it will already call these items something different. See, it's going to call them A and B, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so, oops, I did the wrong thing. So A union B, how I'm going to write that is A cup B. So in my video lesson, I might have accidentally called it A cup B a few times. So how I remember this is it kind of looks like a cup, right? If you poured some water on it, it would catch it. Intersection will come in a second. So backslash. So if you're following along, backslash is our command. Okay, so if I just did a backslash, the computer would be confused because it would say, wait, what are you trying to command me to do? So what you have to do is you hit the backslash button, then you say backslash. So backslash, backslash. All right, so our next item. So instead of cup, intersection is cap. And then I forget what the last one is. Okay, so B, Cartesian product with A. So we talked about this in the last video. I like to just say times, backslash times. Awesome. So here's problem 1, except for this part. I haven't typed up this part yet. I'll do that in 1 second. So here's what I would do is I would say text IT. So that just means text italics. In a few sentences. And so I would keep talking there. Okay? Let's see how that looks. Beautiful. Okay. So now you might be saying, all right, Danica, that's all nice, but now how do I write up my solution? So here's what I would say. Begin solution. And so remember, I have that thing that I took from one of my favorite professors, this thing, and it makes your solutions look super nice. And now, but we want a solution for these different items, right? So I can begin enumerate within my solution, okay? So because this might be getting a little bit confusing, but that's why LaTeX or Overleaf indents, okay, is to help you keep track of where you are at any given time. So this first one, begin enumerate, it started at the bottom and it indented its items. So then when we enumerate it again, it started at that first indent and indented its items again. Okay, so we began, ended, so we still haven't ended our last enumerate. So this enumerate is still going to be A, B, C, D. Okay. If that's a bit confusing, that's okay. You can always mess around with it, recompile, see if that looks like what you wanted it to be. So I'll just say hello world, and we'll see what that looks like. Beautiful. Okay. And if we want some space between these two lines, what you can do is hit space, backslash, backslash. So that just gives us some distance. See how it opened that up a little bit? I'm constantly using this command. So that's how you could do it. So you see it gives us the box. It's going to double space everything. It's going to look really nice. Okay, so if we went on to our next item, and then after they enumerate, that's when you could type up your few sentences here. Type sentences here. Okay, so then you can move on to the next item, etc., etc. And then when you're ready to post this on Gradescope, you can click here. If you're on Overleaf, if you're on other things, there should be some way to download a PDF. You could click here, you could save the PDF and upload it onto Gradescope. Okay, that's all I have for this lesson. Stay tuned for lesson 3. Have a good one.